Hi, I'm Anthony DeBundo here with the Action Network with my picks for the Sweet 16 games in the West region in Los Angeles on Thursday night. Two great matchups, Arizona Clemson, UNC Alabama. Will we get the Caleb Love versus UNC matchup in the Elite Eight? I do tend to think so, and one of my best bets for this round, UNC -4 against Alabama. I think it's a poor matchup for Alabama, and I think this is where their defense finally gets exposed. They got two matchups with Charleston and Grand Canyon, two teams who were happy to run up and down the floor. Charleston with no rim defense, no transition defense. Grand Canyon, on the other hand, ran offense that was very suited to help Alabama. Just a lot of isolation, pull-up jumpers against the athleticism of Alabama. Didn't quite work. But now they're facing a UNC defense that's elite at rim and three defense, elite in transition. It's not a good matchup for them, especially given that UNC runs much better offense than Grand Canyon. They'll move the ball more. They'll get it into the post in Baycott, where Alabama is really weak. I think this is where you start to see the Alabama defensive numbers show, and I think they struggle to get consistent enough stops, whereas UNC, top 10 defensive efficiency, really good guarding the rim, like I said, good against spot-up shooters. The way you beat UNC is in the mid-range, and that's not really what Alabama does. They're a rim and three offense under Nate Oates. They want to get the ball into those areas, and they lost one of their best spot-up shooters in Wrightsell to a concussion, it looked like, on Sunday against the Canyon. So I think it's a little bit of a short-handed Alabama, an Alabama team that, can always get hot from three and stay in this game, but it feels like much more of the scenarios play out where they don't get enough stops and UNC wins this game by 5 to 10 points going away. So I'm okay laying up to 4. I like the Tar Heels to advance to the Elite Eight. A reminder that these picks are presented by Bet365. Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why you get more boosts with them than with anyone else. Every day they power up the odds on hundreds of bets to give you a chance to win more by boosting specific markets, your winnings, and even parlays. And they don't stop there. Keep an eye out for their biggest and best odds with the incredible Super Boost. It's always exciting and never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, or 18 and older in Kentucky. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Clemson and Arizona is an interesting matchup. Clemson, a little bit of an underdog to get here, beating 3-seed Baylor. Basically, they had the same defensive approach in both games against New Mexico and Baylor by turning both into jump shooters. They went under screens, they dared New Mexico's shooters to beat them, they dared Baylor's shooters to beat them, and they kind of lucked into the fact that both teams had poor shooting days. 9 of 37 from 3 was the big thing. Lobo's not a great shooting team, but Baylor missed a ton of free throws, a ton of threes, kept Clemson, able to keep their nose in front. Both teams take away the rim at an elite rate. Ballo, questionable in pick-and-roll defense. So I think this comes down to jump shooting again. Joe Girard and Hunter have been a little bit inconsistent defensively, but they've been nails offensively for the Tigers in the first 2 rounds. Caleb Love, inconsistent. We know what he's capable of in terms of shooting teams out of games. Ultimately, I do think Arizona gets through this game, but I have no interest in laying the 7.5. It's going to come down to jump shooting. The ACC has played up above its metrics in this tournament, covering and winning games pretty routinely. So I'm not going to have a bet for this game. I'm just going to stick with UNC -4. But this is a good live betting game. If you see one team, grab an early lead, maybe come back against them and vice versa, because there are going to be a lot of jump shots in this game. It's going to be prone to runs. Both teams taking away the rim, taking away transition. Clemson pretty good in transition defense. That's a major key against Arizona, who will look to run at all costs. So I think the Wildcats have too much size and too much skill to ultimately go down here, but no interest in laying the 7.5. If anything, I would take the points with the Tigers. But yeah, UNC -4. And good luck with the rest of your NCAA tournament. Hopefully your brackets aren't too busted at this point with all the chalk we've had. Should be an amazing second weekend. Best of luck.